Now, air pollution in Bradford has fallen to its lowest level since records began, and the council says it's a direct result of the city imposing a clean air zone. The zone was launched last September and has seen taxis, buses, vans and lorries that emit high levels of pollutants charged to enter the city. Its rollout has attracted criticism, but the council says it's had the desired effect. Here's our transport correspondent, Spencer Stokes.
Bradford was a prime candidate for a clean air zone. It sits in a bowl, so pollution settles here, especially on still, windless days. Child asthma rates are some of the highest in the country. Nitrous oxide levels were classed as unsafe. So last September, the city started charging buses, taxis, vans and lorries with older, dirtier engines a fee of between £7 and £50 to drive in the clean air zone. 12 months on, the air has improved.
So we've published the data showing the graph of NO2, nitrous oxide, and how that's decreased over the last year quite markedly. At the same time, traffic levels have gone up as we recover from the pandemic. And those two lines on that chart show that actually the clean air zone is making a difference.
The data shows that nitrous oxide pollution has fallen from 40 micrograms per cubic metre in December 2022 to 20 micrograms per cubic metre in July 2023, but then rose slightly again in August. That drop in air pollution has been welcomed by this family. Abby Thompson puts flyers on cars with idling engines when she walks her children to school. 2 of them suffer from asthma, but things have improved over the summer.
One thing we have done is reduced my daughter's asthma medication. She's on a high dose of steroids for a 10-year-old, and we've been able to reduce that by a quarter over the last few weeks. And we didn't know anything about the clean air results, but it hasn't had a negative effect on her asthma. It might be a coincidence, but then again, if the statistics are showing that the air quality is improving, that's great news for us and for all the children of Bradford.
Opposition to the clean air zone came from taxi drivers and haulage firms who had to update their vehicles if they wanted to avoid paying the charge. The government provided some grant funding, but it didn't cover the of an upgrade.
A big thank you to the businesses of Bradford District who've upgraded their vehicles. We now have the cleanest taxi fleet in the country. 99% of our taxis are compliant with the clean air zone. We know that it's also made a difference now. We've seen the results of this, and everybody, no matter what side of the argument they're on, want clean air.
1.5% of drivers in Bradford have had to pay the charge. £9 million has been raised, all of which will be used to improve air quality further, particularly around schools. The hope is that over time, the clean air zone won't be necessary. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North, Bradford.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? Now, away from our roads, a farm near Selby is leading the way in a new technology that should help tackle climate change. Agriculture contributes nearly a quarter of all greenhouse gas emissions, but scattering seeds using a